AITA for not telling my new partner about having a vasectomy? October 6, 2023. Some background: I, 36M, was married for 8 years, have one kid. After they were born, I got a vasectomy, which was 4 years ago, because I am not interested in having more children. Ended up get divorced about 2 years ago. Started dating my recent ex, 33F, little less than 9 months ago. When we started dating and the kid conversation came up, I was very clear about not wanting any more children, and that will not change. I didn't bring up my vasectomy at that point, partly because I didn't think it mattered and partly because I didn't think it was their business that early on. Fast forward to this week, she told me she was pregnant. At this point I said the child is unlikely mine and I will not have any involvement in this until a paternity test is done. My reasoning for this is she was supposedly on birth control and I in theory should be sterile, so the odds seem pretty astronomical to me. This obviously turned into a fight. She accused me of being dishonest with her, which I guess a lie of omission isn't being completely honest. AITA for not disclosing my vasectomy earlier? Edit, thanks for the numerous replies. I haven't had time to read them all, but to address some common comments. I do plan to get retested, but due to them wanting you to abstain for a few days, it will be about mid next week before I can drop a sample off. That said, I have been tested 3 times since the vasectomy. Initially after the minimum wait time. About a year later when my ex-wife removed her IUD. Finally about 6 months after the divorce before I started dating. All showed I was still sterile, so not expecting much change there, but who knows? I will update after. Secondly, I was on the fence about the relationship for the last month or so. Even if the child is mine, I don't have much interest in trying to mend the relationship, though I will try to be a good co-parent and apologize for my strong suggestions of cheating. Finally, I do agree that I probably should have said something when we started having sex. She brought up her being on the IUD, so I didn't bring up my vasectomy. I am a bit paranoid, so preferred the dual birth control. Update October 12, 2023. This isn't much of an update, but thought I would provide since many were curious. Had my sperm count tested and it came back at 0, so not much doubt that I am in the clear. I had reached out a couple times since the argument to discuss how she wants to do a paternity test and got nothing back. I have been blocked on any shared social media and have not talked to her since the argument. At this point I don't see any need to reach out anymore and will wait and see if she tries to take me to court. Reddit spreads thoughts. Personally, I believe that if you are looking to be in a long-term committed relationship, that it would be a good idea to talk early on about children, marriage, career, and what you want not only in your partner, but in life. That way if the other person isn't looking for the same thing, then they can choose to end it without wasting anyone's time. So I do think that he should have definitely brought up that he had a vasectomy when his ex mentioned she was on birth control, just so that everyone is on the same page. But at the end of the day, Op is still not the a-hole, because his sperm count was 0 and his reaction to his ex announcing her pregnancy was reasonable. His ex probably cheated on him and tried to force him to be the father of her child. Hopefully the ex doesn't come back to create trouble.